Welcome to today's video. Today's video we're going to be looking at the best value electric cars. So if you're looking for an electric hatchback, an electric SUV, large or small, or an electric estate car or performance car and want to know which one gets you the best pound for pound, then we're going to be looking at what's the cheapest total cost on all these electric cars based on a 2-year lease, and we're just going to be based it just for this comparison on 5,000 miles per annum for each of them. And we'll also have a look at what might be the best value electric car for range. Now this comparison is based purely on the cheapest cost lease over this 2-year period. So not the cheapest monthly cost, the cheapest total cost. So that includes deposit and monthly payments. And this comparison was run on the 27th of November 2021. Now, these prices have been stable around these levels for the last 40 to 50 days. So I expect them to still be the same in 6 months' time. But bear in mind, there may be some minor changes as this video gets older and older. Now, let's first look at the hatchback range of cars. Now, I looked at the 6 cheapest hatchback electric vehicles and discounted the VW E-Up just basically because it doesn't do 200-mile range. However, if you're interested in an E-Up and you want to lease one over a 2-year deal, then they actually come in at £4,911 over a 2-year deal. So we're left my old faithful, a Renault Zoe, a VW ID3, a Nissan Leaf, and a Hyundai Ioniq. And the winner in this category is, I'm going to mention in a minute, but let me just tell you what the winner beat the Renault Zoe by. £3,895 cheaper over the 2-year lease than the Zoe. And that winner is the Corsa E. So the Vauxhall Corsa E comes in at £7,027 total cost over a 2-year lease. And not just that, the Corsa came in its highest spectrum level at that price. So it was the Nav Elite Edition. That to me is a seriously cheap, well-spec'd vehicle for that money. The Zoe in comparison was spec'd at a Play model, which only comes with 22 kilowatt charging and no CCS Rapid. Now the Corsa does do slightly less range than the few cars I mentioned. However, it's only slightly less than the Renault Zoe, which is class leading in this section, and it has a 100 kilowatt CCS charging speed, unlike the Zoe's max speed on the Play model, which I showed you, which is 22. And if you then went to a GT line, the max charging speed on a Zoe is only 50 kilowatts. So for me, the Corsa is the winner of the cheapest hatchback section. Now we'll get to the SUV section. Like I said, I'm going to split it into 2 categories because there is the small SUVs and then there is your big, massive SUVs. So everyone who's after an SUV is going to have a certain price budget they want to spend and a certain size they want to go up to. Some people don't want the huge SUVs and some people want the smaller, more dinky SUVs. So I've split them into those 2 categories. I've got all the cars of the cheapest list and I've took out one car in particular, which was the Mazda MX-30, because I honestly don't think anyone should buy it. I think the battery's too small. I think Mazda have been under ambitious with it. But it is one of the cheapest, so if you just want the cheapest SUV, then you can get the Mazda. But I've got an estimated range here between 80 and 155 miles, depending on weather conditions. And for me, if you're buying a car, an electric vehicle in 2021, you want a minimum, to me, of 200 miles. So left in the small SUV camp, we have the Kia e-Niro. Its brother, the Hyundai Kona. We also have the Vauxhall Mokka-e and its brother, the 2008. And of course, the most known SUV for being cheap, supposedly, the MG ZS, which surprised me that it didn't win this category. The actual winner was the Kia e-Niro, coming in at a 2-year lease cost of £8,096. Now, that's beating the MG ZS on this category by £701. So if you're not a badge snob, don't discount the MG fully, because the 73 kilowatt hour battery in the MG ZS, new shape because it's a new order now, new MG, new styling, it beats the Kia's Niro battery, which is only 64 kilowatt hours. So if you really after that extra squeeze of range, you're not a bad snob, then that £701 for that larger battery may be well worth the money off MG over that 2-year lease. After all, it's only a very small amount per month extra, but you are getting that extended battery range. So have a think, are you a badge snob? In which case get the Kia. I mean, personally, I am a massive fan of the Kona and the Kia. They are one of the SUVs that I actually really like. Now, moving on to the large SUVs, there is quite a lot of large SUVs. In fact, there is probably one of the most contested areas at the moment. And there's, at the moment, in the UK, we're not even got the Tesla Model X to compete in this category. And my favourite electric car of today is in this category, and I'm not an SUV fan, and that is obviously the Mustang Mach-E. However, costing £18,150 over a 2-year lease, it doesn't win the category for the most affordable, cheapest large SUV. That category actually goes to the VW ID4, and that's coming in at a 2-year lease cost, which surprised me at £10,232. So if you're needing that extra size, then look at the ID4. It seems to be coming in at some really, really good rates from VW to try and get those numbers for them so they can hit their CAF targets here in the UK. Now, a worthy mention in this category, which I did miss out, is the Ioniq 5. And the reason I missed it out is the cheapest deal on the Ioniq 5 is based on an 18-month package. And the 18-month package comes in just under £11,000. And if you do want an Ioniq 5 in that category and you do want a new factory order and you do fancy an 18-month lease deal, then that deal is actually available through one of my contacts. So if you want to contact me via EVNick or via my work at Luigi Motors, I can try and sort that lease out for you. The next section is poorly served, and that is the estate car section. And it's poorly served because it's just not a popular category. Unlike other sections that are currently poorly served in the electric car industry, like convertibles, estate cars just don't have that many buyers. It's a small segment of customers, even smaller than convertibles. It's one of the smallest and hardest sectors to sell. In fact, so badly that I try to avoid buying any estate cars for sale at work as my used car job. I sell cars every day as a used car salesman, if you didn't know that. I don't just specialise in the electric industry, making videos here on YouTube so you can go and click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. I also sell them for a living, and sadly the estate cars just aren't a popular category. And then there's only 2 cars in this category that are estate, and the winner for the cheapest, best value electric car in this category is of course the Porsche Taycan Grand Tourer that comes in at £35,000 for a 2-year lease. That is a bargain. Oh, sorry, I missed. It's the MG5. It comes in at just over £8,000, and it comes with a 61 kilowatt hour battery, and that is a lot of battery for just over £8,000. Now, this category is going to divide people in two. It is a category that not everyone really looks at best value at, because it's performance, which is the best performance car for value for money. And it's people don't buy a performance car for value for money. They buy it for a couple of reasons: how good it looks, how fast it goes, and how it makes you feel. And that's why you buy a performance car. You don't buy it because it's the cheapest, you buy it because you want it. And that is why in this category I've really only got a couple of choices. There is basically the Porsche Taycan and the Tesla Model 3 Performance. At the moment we don't have the Tesla Model S Plaid here in the UK, so I can't compare it. I can only compare the 2 true performance cars in electric that we currently have. And I can't put the i8 in it because it's not pure electric, even though it's a stunning looking car, and BMW should definitely look at making that vehicle full electric, because that is a stunner. And unfortunately I can't put the Rimac in it because it's still currently not sold in the UK, and let's be honest, it ain't going to win best value performance car, because yes, even though money doesn't come into it, we don't have any that, most people don't have anywhere near that kind of money to spend on an electric performance car. So which is the best For me, value electric car, performance, well, for me, I'm looking at the categories like 0 to 60, the looks, and I mean, I drive a Model 3 Performance at the moment for work, but you ask me now which car would I change to tomorrow at a heartbeat if I was given the choice between the Porsche Taycan and the Model 3 Performance, I'd of course choose the Porsche Taycan. It is for me one of the best looking, best just characters of a performance car. Porsche have got everything perfect. Okay, let's say you really don't like cars and you're not really bothered how big it is, you've not got a family, you've not got anything you need to fit in it, you've not got any preference in shape, colour, you just want the best value electric car for the best bang for the buck. So you want the most range, the most distance, the most maybe charge speed, how fast it goes isn't irrelevant either. You just want the best bang for your buck. Now this is really complicated because do we look at the price over 2 years and divide that by the amount of miles it does in range, or do we add other cars in that might be faster charging than that, and therefore the range is important, but if you're doing a 400-mile stint and both cars do 200 miles, one may be cheaper but the other one may have double the charging power. So what do we look at? How do we compare the best value electric car? And the problem with this is it's such a really complicated, category to value the best electric car for your range and buck. I'm going to have to make an entirely separate video. So if you want to see that video, don't forget to click subscribe. Don't forget to like this video, and I'll see you again next week when we may be looking at the best value electric car for your money.